I'm Pascale with Art of Adventure. Welcome back to my channel. You know swimming pools are common in the state of Florida. We need them to beat the heat. There are also a lot of natural swimming holes in the state. There are so many great spots. To break it down to my top 5, I focused on what I consider the most unique. Number 5, Troy Springs State Park. Troy is hidden along the banks of the Suwannee River in Branford, Florida. Troy Spring makes my list of most unique swimming holes for 3 main reasons. Its unique emerald green color, the 70-foot drop just steps off the boardwalk, and it's the only spring that I know of that has a sunken steamboat that dates back to the Civil War. Let's start with the submerged remains of the sunken steamship, the Madison. According to Florida State Parks, the Madison served as a floating mail service and trading post on the Suwannee River in the 1850s. During the Civil War, its owner scuttled the steamship along the spring run to keep it from falling into the wrong hands. To this day, all you need is a mask and snorkel to check out what's left of this relic. The skeleton sits in the shallow water just off the river at the entrance to the spring run. It's not every day you can snorkel a shipwreck in inland Florida. The depth of Troy Spring also makes it a popular spot for scuba divers and free divers. It's also pretty cool as a swimmer or snorkeler to see the shimmer of the sunlight as it penetrates the 70-foot cavity. The emerald green water is a direct reflection of the algae growth that covers the limestone formations and pretty much everything else at Troy Spring. Here are my pro tips for Troy. The park greets you with a small but nice parking lot. I didn't count, but there couldn't have been more than 20 or 25 parking spots at the main parking lot. It's a little obscure, so I don't expect Troy to reach capacity too early, especially during the week. There's a $5 pay station. It's always easier to carry cash for those things. Troy also has a nice lawn, picnic tables, scuba benches, and newly renovated bathrooms. There are quite a few other springs along the Suwannee in that area, so you could hit up 2 or 3 more on the same day. Royal, Peacock, Little River, and Branford Springs are all pretty close. Number 4, Seven Sisters Springs. Seven Sisters is in Homosassa, Florida, and sits just off the Chassahowitzka River. Locals call it the Chaz. This spring doesn't make my list because it's deep. In fact, it's quite shallow. What makes it a unique swimming hole, in my opinion, are all the cool swim-throughs. There are holes in the limestone that create these amazing underwater tunnels. I had so much fun swimming from one opening to another. Be careful though, some tunnels are wide enough to swim through, and some, not so much. There's also a lot of force coming from the spring vents, so it can be difficult to get the momentum you need. It helped that one of the locals showed up while I was there. I was able to gauge which swim-throughs were possible. It's important you know your own limits.
Yeah, tons of.
Okay, here are some pro tips for Seven Sisters. Don't expect to just park and walk up to the spring. You have to park at the Chassahowitzka River campground and then embark on a short paddle to the spring. It costs $5 to park, but it's free to use the boat ramp. You can either bring your own kayak or rent one from the boathouse right there in the parking lot. It's always better to reserve your kayak or canoe ahead of time. While Seven Sisters Spring is very close to the launch, don't forget to spend some time paddling the Chaz River as well. It's a beautiful paddle, and you will see plenty of wildlife. Number 3, Madison Blue Springs. Madison Blue Springs is a Florida state park. It's located just east of Madison, on the west bank of the Withlacoochee River. Madison is a little more typical swimming hole than the first 2 on my list. The swimming hole is only about 85 feet wide and 25 feet deep. The spring run is about 150 feet long. The current can be very strong as it leads to the Withlacoochee River. When the tide is low, there is also a small beach where the spring run meets the river. It's a popular spot for families to set up for the day. A boardwalk hugs most of the spring, making it easy for parents to watch from above. It almost has a coliseum feel. Limestone lines the walls just below the boardwalk. There are no jumping or diving signs, but they largely seem to be ignored. I've seen park rangers here before, but only on weekends and holidays. Otherwise, you're pretty much on your own. Madison Blue is also popular for scuba divers. About 30 feet below the pool surface, you can find an opening to an extensive cave system. These benches in the parking lot make it easier for scuba divers to set up their gear. Here are some pro tips for Madison Blue. As mentioned, it is a Florida State park. It costs $4 to $5 a car depending on how many people are in your car. This is another spot where it's good to have cash for the pay station envelopes. It's best to pack a picnic, but on weekends and holidays during summer months, there is usually a hot dog stand on the property where you can get some snacks. I would suggest visiting on a weekday to beat the summer crowds. If you do go on a weekend, just plan to get there early. It probably won't reach capacity, but that's your best chance for grabbing a picnic table or a good spot to set up for the day. Number 2, Devil's Den. When it comes to unique swimming holes in Florida, I'm not sure you can get more unique than Devil's Den Prehistoric Spring. Devil's Den is located in Williston, Florida. To enter the cavern, you have to walk through what looks like a crack in the earth. Once you make it down the concrete steps, the spring opens up into a beautiful blue swimming hole. It's surrounded by cavern walls and a karst forming a window to the rest of the world above. There's really nothing else like it in the state of Florida. The crystal blue water and limestone formations are beautiful. The pool itself is not that big. It's about 120 feet across and 54 feet deep. You can snorkel the spring 7 days a week. It is privately owned, so they do have some rules. All snorkelers have to be registered at the front desk. All swimmers must have a mask, snorkel, and fins. They will not let you in the cavern without it. I suggest you bring your own, but they do rent if you need it. Here are some more pro tips for Devil's Den. You need to make reservations for Devil's Den online. Sometimes they are booked weeks in advance, so if you're thinking about visiting, check their site as soon as possible. I do have a link in the description. It costs $15 per snorkeler on weekdays and $22 on the weekends. Children under 6 are not allowed inside the den, and children under 18 have to have their legal guardian on the property, or their parents have to fill out a permission form online. It may seem like a lot of hassle, but trust me, it's worth it to get the full experience at Devil's Den. There's really nothing like it. Okay, my number 1 unique swimming hole in Florida is Royal Springs. There are really so many things I like about Royal. First, it's a Suwannee County park, so it's free. You gotta love that. One of the reasons it tops my list is because there is something for everyone at Royal Springs. The swimming area is huge, 200 feet wide. There are 4 overlook decks. One of the most popular parts of the park is this jumping platform. These guys had to show me how it was done before I got the nerve to take the plunge. But you know I did. While most of the spring is deep, 42 feet, there's also a shallow area where smaller kids can play, and when the tide is low, you can even set up your chairs right there. I love it as a swimming hole because you can jump, swim, deep dive, scuba dive, hang out with friends, or just chill and relax. This might be the opposite of relaxing, but certainly entertaining. Let me show you that again. This guy flipped off the top of that tree. Amazing. There's also a short spring run, and if the tides are right, you might even catch a little waterfall as the spring water meets the Swanee River. Look, this place is just fun for everyone. Do I need a better reason than that to top my list for top unique swimming holes in Florida? Here are some pro tips. Pack a picnic. This place is in the middle of nowhere. There are a few grills on the property, but you need to get here early to snag one. There are also a couple gazebos. Again, the earlier you get here, the better chance you'll have to grab one. There are only porta potties at Royal. Bring your own chairs. Like I said before, you can even set them up along the water's edge in a few places. Definitely bring your mask and snorkel.
All right, I'm coming down.
And don't forget to bring your bravery. I've seen all ages jump off the platform. Maybe you'll even want to jump off the tree. Well, maybe. As always, you'll want to call ahead and make sure the park you're interested in is open and the amenities you want are available. After all, it is Florida, and we do have storms. How'd I do? Hopefully I gave you a few reasons to explore somewhere besides the neighborhood pool. Did I forget one of your favorites? Tell me about it in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button and consider a subscription. Remember, your experiences all make up the art of adventure. Go get it!